Chris back again. Today we're doing a review of the Master Liquid ml240l by Cooler Master. I guess I'll just launch right into it. I have a viewer that asked me a question in the comment section on I think it was my first video I did for the review of this case, and he asked if putting in one of these would be a good option for keeping the temps down on the processor. I believe he asked if he replaced the existing fans, used the fans that came with this. I was going to do that, but Cooler Master's solution for holding the fans in the front is a plastic collar with a plastic pin that goes through into that collar to hold it in place. And I didn't really want to mess with taking that apart, so I've seen a lot of other computer builders put the radiator and the fans on the very top of cases, if cases permit, depending on ventilation. So I thought, well, that's probably a better option to go with for putting in one of these. And it seemed like a very viable option. Usually these liquid AIOs do a pretty good job of cooling, but I've got to say, and after installing this in this case, it looks cool, but it is loud, and it actually runs hotter than the stock fan. Now under load, I ran CPU-Z, did the bench stress on the processor, and had hardware monitor running the entire time, and just stressing the CPU. And under full load with the stock fan, it was running 67 degrees at the hottest, but settled down around 66, and that was in a room around 73 to 75 Fahrenheit. I believe that's about 150 Celsius. So yeah, it was running about 67 Celsius at max under full load with the stock cooler. After I installed this and ran the same stress test, I ran the stress test for about a half an hour each. In fact, I think for the liquid cooler, I ran probably almost 45 minutes, but I did run for a decent length of time on both stock cooler and the AIO, and I gotta admit, I think the stock cooler, and I didn't even get into overclocks. I left the clock speed stock on the processor and the integrated graphics in the processor. I did not overclock at all, just running stock clocks, and it ran 67 on the stock cooler, and it ran 71 on the AIO. And again, I gotta say, it's loud. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone. It's all closed up, and this thing sounds practically like a jet engine. It is that loud compared to what it was before. So in my opinion, I don't feel like this case has enough airflow to justify putting in an AIO. I personally would just stay with air cooling. You do get a better result. Now, I will be changing out this AIO. I've got the Cooler Master G100M CPU cooler. Looks like a UFO. I will be putting that on and testing that because apparently that's got a copper slug core to it, and it's designed in such a way that it's supposed to radiate the heat upwards and out, as well as blowing the air down on the motherboard and away from the processor that way. So I am anticipating getting better cooling performance in this case with that particular cooler, but I gotta admit, I'm sure that this AIO would be better. It would actually cool efficiently in a better case, but in this particular case, I would not recommend it, because again, you have to run the fans full blast to keep the temperatures under control, and it just they're running at max speed just to run that 71 Celsius under full load, and it's loud. It's very audible, and not very pleasing. It's not so loud that it like will drown out a room or anything like that and be the only thing, you know, heard over and above like somebody talking, but it is louder than it should be. I even went so far as to add, for aesthetics, the Cooler Master RGB LED controller. Seeing as how MSI only has 7 colors with the Mystic Light on this particular motherboard, it's a little disappointed in that. Right now I've just got it cycling through the colors. I will say this: it does look very nice aesthetically. It's got the Cooler Master logo that lights up on the water block. It is a dual chamber pump, so I think that is the only reason it didn't go skyrocketing on temperatures. Yeah, it comes with 2 RGB fans, which I've got mounted on the underside of the AIO, and they all are linked together so they match on color. Again, it looks great aesthetically, but I don't recommend it if you're looking for something that's going to keep your CPU nice and cool, especially if you want to overclock. Because that was what my intent was. I wanted to overclock this processor and the integrated graphics in it, so that way I could get a little bit better performance. And I don't dare with this AIO. Again, putting it in another case would probably do wonderful, but I wouldn't recommend it in the Q300P. So, thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video and disagree with my opinion on this, then definitely give it a thumbs down. Leave an opinion or leave a comment down in the comment section. If you disagree with me in any way, if you've got any other ideas, you know, maybe I should have put it in the front and tested it that way. Then let me know in the comments. Yeah, if you like the content that I'm bringing to you, consider subscribing, and that way I can continue to share more of this stuff with you folks. And see you in the next video.